Okay, sorry, I'm just restarting here. I just realised, sorry, no sound this morning. First thing, good morning. First important things this morning then, GDP um, for the UK being released. We've got the core inflation data coming out, or the inflation data coming out for the US later. There has been a report released that data is going to be lower than expected, or the inflation is going to be dropping. It's already the forecasters. Well, the forecasters are suggesting it's a little bit lower anyway. Anyway, that's today in terms of what to watch out for. Okay, let's have a look at the technicals. Technicals, US dollar, euro, US dollar. Well, we're seeing the euro pushing up with just that sort of news on lower inflation in the US has seen the dollar sold across the board basically, or seeing it sold. What we're seeing here then is the dollar pushing up solidly ish. It's horrible when you come down, just come down the time frames, and it's very difficult to work out at times what's really going on here. Number of trend lines I had across here. This was a near-term one that's well out of action now. That's been broken, and we're just breaking or appearing to break. I say because often it just turns back and it looks like it hadn't done anything of the sort. Anyway, it's there, but I'm suspicious of these markets in terms of the inflation figures coming out later. We saw the chop coming through yesterday. We saw the news come out, which was effectively more bullish than bearish for the US dollar, and we saw the initial reaction, but followed by it giving up. But these markets are so mixed at the moment. Looking at the pound, it's no cleaner for sure, but it looks good on the dailies. From a daily perspective, things all look really quite good. It's looking good across the time frames here on the pound, pushing up decently. But you come down to the short time frame again, it's quite messy. The best thing on these markets at the moment, it may be, is to be sitting there on more of a swing type positions on these. But you can see the sort of swing chop during the daytime is not the best. Right, let's move on. US dollar yen consolidation. Last few days chopping ugly, leave that alone. Aussie dollar, the Aussie yesterday ran into its trend line here back into the 50, etc. There's a few points of resistance. It's pushing back up again at the moment, or attempting to. Let's get rid of this old trend line on here. It's not helping with anything. So yesterday it looked like it was going to put lower highs in here. It's sort of breaking lots of factors. Sorry, this is a reversion channel that's sitting on here at the moment. It looks like prices are going to head off back towards the center of that point. But again, you look at it, take everything else off here, you're just looking at the price for a moment, and it's just really quite horrible, this price action. And to me, I'd rather wait until we see a cleaner action. I feel like I'm just going to get chopped in and out of this, unless with big swing positions. US dollar CAD, well, the CAD closed me out of my trade yesterday, and then, well, looks like it's now heading back in the direction I was looking for. It's just been so slow during the week. You just look at it over the week there. It started off okay, started moving there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday was fine. It would come off really well in the afternoon. Tuesday it just really never caught on to continue in that trend. Yesterday took out the highs. Today, well, we're back to where we've really started. So it's a difficult old one at the moment there. New Zealand dollar were just pretty much the same as the Aussie, not really worth looking at. One market that's moving particularly well, and the strongest out there is the Swissy, is doing pretty well, but it's getting into it. it's moving so nicely that it's not retracing too much. It did have a minor retrace yesterday evening there actually, but largely it's running to the downside here at the moment. Big money looked like it was coming back into it at the week when I looked at it on Monday rather. So it looks like the retracements might be good to be selling into, certainly in the terms of the trend that we're seeing here at the moment. But I think we're going to have to wish for a retracement. There's nothing setting at this stage. Let's get this. Oh, okay, it is. US dollar yen. Let's just look from a bigger picture. It looks like it's starting a bit of a trend here after what we've been seeing of late, but it's hard to see. It's broken at last. Yeah, it's breaking outside of it. It was sitting in this channel for a long time. Broke out, got back right the way back in, retesting the channel. Looks like it's breaking the top there. Buyer beware, I think, at the moment. We've seen this as one of these markets that has been so often we see sellers sitting in positions on this, but it's just realistically hanging in there, and might look like it's got more upside yet. Euro pound, we'll skip that for now. Euro Aussie, again a choppy market. You just these Euro Aussie, Euro CAD are often decent markets, but I just really can't do too much when it's running like this. It doesn't fit with what I'm trying to do. Euro CAD is a little bit simpler, but you look at the sort of price action we saw yesterday, it's not clear, and when it's like this I'm just going to avoid it. So there's a lot of markets here really not. Let's have a look at the pound CAD. This often works well, but again we're into its quarterly pivot. Now this could at some stage break and push on forwards, but it's probably one of the cleaner markets here. It struggled. You look at it from bigger term, sort of gone the wrong way around here. I've gone from the short term to the big time, big timing. It's got the higher lows coming through here. Just to me, if it can break that quarterly pivot, it becomes a much more bullish picture overall. So I'm afraid there's so much chop in these forex markets. I think we've got inflation coming out later. It might be prudent. I'm going to silver again today as well, because we're seeing this sort of move. Gold is hanging in there. It's a real safety currency, gold, and we're seeing this sort of continuation of a push up here. It could well, regardless of what the big money was doing previously, with the circumstances, it could well push up further. It's running into its monthly pivot at the moment. It's got its quarterly pivot above. I can't see this falling off quite so much now. It's high lows. It's got the sort of background of what suits gold, concern and worry and uncertainty. That's the recipe for a more bullish gold position. Silver will follow suit. It generally does. Come on there. So it's not doing it quite the same. Well, I don't know. It's not doing too bad here. It's coming up. There's this green line on here was a key level of support stroke resistance. It's been sitting there for so long. I popped those ones in. They're my ones, my pivotal areas. If you can break that, it'll certainly be more bullish. It's working its way back up there. Silver again. So both these markets working more bullishly. They are more swing type trades to me when you take these. Looking aside of that, then oil, so key at the moment in terms of what's going on with oil. Oil's having a bit of a torrid old time here at the moment. 1 minute you hear that it's getting all bullish or whatever else. Next thing, well, we filled the gap, and it's looking on the softer side. Yesterday really did see it being sold off there. US exports are the highest they've ever been, I read yesterday, I think it was. Anyway, it's looking looking quite soft. I believe the US is now the second biggest supplier of oil after the Saudis. Okay, anyway, so there we are. Oil closed its gap, ugly where it sits. We'll leave that alone as well now. At some stage we'll try and look back for the getting in on the dailies on the upside, but not from where it is at the moment. It needs to change, and for me it needs to be probably back above that 87, 85 area if I'm going to go back on the long side. Otherwise I'll just leave it. It's a great market when it's in trend. When it's doing this, it's best left. Right, equity markets, right, S&Ps. He says, come on. There we go. S&P's continue their climb then at the moment. A slightly softer dollar's going to help. Higher lows coming through. The talk about lower inflation coming through as well. All these factors are going to help the S&Ps here. Certainly pushing up that way at the moment with the higher lows through there. Just looking overall in this bigger picture, they could still turn from where they are. It's just a straightforward clean move up there. I'm just sort of wondering where we're going to get some sort of correction. We may see it off the 50 MA here, the 34. The Dow, similar picture in terms of the pattern. It's just short though, still of its monthly and quarterly pivots, and they might provide resistance there. The Nasdaq is looking a bit more bullish. It's going beyond high low just in at the bottom there. Maybe it's a change of things. Let's just pop the trend line over here. There we go. We're not too far. Just watch that trend line as well. It looks to me, I've actually put the trend line on now. I can see the sort of channel-y pattern that's probably running through here. So just watch out on the top side there. European markets, the DAX continuing to push up here this morning, looking tad more solid. Untouched daily pivot, untouched yesterday as well. We've got to be careful. These might see the price coming back for these. If we don't, and we push on through the R1 again, where the R2 it's got a 75% chance of being hit there. FTSE's in a bit of a mess. I'll try and work this one out. But a bullish mess maybe. It's just the last few, like yesterday, didn't really move too much. It's slowed up a bit here, but higher lows coming through there. GDP has not had any effect on it. In fact, the lower GDP has probably had a positive effect in terms of the potential of rates being put on hold. Okay, there we go. At the moment, still pushing up. That's about it for me. I'm going to wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.